Good morning. The classroom of little things and lonely places is usually no picnic. In fact, it's often quite taxing, but oh, how necessary. The other day I read a quote from one of my favorite authors, Chuck Swindoll. He said, "It's in the little things and in the lonely places that we prove ourselves capable of the big things. But the little things seem so unnecessary at times. Take, for instance, the announcements you can expect to hear when you board an airplane. You know, the voice on the intercom goes into a monotonous repetition of what ifs and in case ofs, and no one really seems to be listening. After all, if you've never had any problems while flying high in the sky, you just assume that this trip's not going to be any different. But it's quite another thing when you're a mile up in the air and something starts going wrong, and you can see a trail of black smoke behind the aircraft. Pastor Greg Laurie reminisced about a harrowing experience he had a number of years ago. He said he was on a flight returning to California when the captain came on the intercom and announced that the craft had to make an emergency landing. The flight attendants gave instructions about emergency procedures, and Pastor said he listened carefully. I mean, very carefully. He said, as we went into our descent, we were told to lean forward, grab our legs, and get ready. Thankfully, they landed safely without any problems at all, and everything and everyone was okay. But you know, there are times in life when we just aren't given much of a warning, are we? Catastrophe strikes whether we're prepared or not. Just a little while ago, I received a phone call from a young man. I had performed their wedding ceremony in the mid-'70s. I could barely understand what he was saying. He was sobbing so hard. His precious wife was in the hospital in OKC. Cancer. How I hate that word. When everything disintegrates right before our very eyes, what can be done? When we feel so helpless, what is there to do? At times like this, we may not be a mile up in the air and engine sputtering, but even if our feet are on the ground, we feel so helpless. It's in times like these that our only recourse is to trust ourselves to the only one who promised he would never leave us or forsake us. He said what he meant, and he meant what he said. I'm Larry Hatfield. Good day.